Hello, this is an overview of the Franka Solida III. This is what the camera looks like. To open the lens, you press this release at the bottom to pop up the whole mechanism. There's a flap over here which you can also pop out to stand the lens vertically like this. You can shoot vertically or horizontally with this one, it doesn't matter, because this camera shoots square format. It shoots 12 frames on a 120 film roll. To open the back, you have a switch over here, but the back door is not spring loaded, so you have to pull it out with your own hand. To load the film, you have these two housings that come out. You fit the new roll to the right over here. To the left, you fit the take-up spool, which is locked with this thing over here. Pull it out, and it comes out. Same thing when you want to put it back, and then you turn it a little bit. Loading the film, you don't need to fit the arrow, the start arrow. You don't need to match the start arrow with anything. You just roll it up a little bit, roll it in a little bit, and close the door. What you have instead is a window on the back that shows you the frame number. So you keep rolling until you reach number 1 and you're good to go. This particular camera has an optical viewfinder, a square finder. It's actually made of plastic, I think, but it's very clear and it's reliable for framing. So it doesn't actually have much parallax error at the close focusing distance. The closest focusing distance on this one is about 3 feet. Is approximately 3 feet. That's just a little bit less than 1 meter. There is another version of the Franka Solida III which has an uncoupled rangefinder. The uncoupled rangefinder means you can find the focusing distance through the rangefinder. You focus through the eyepiece, but you still have to move the lens manually. So you read out the distance from the top. There would be an indicator on the top telling you the distance that you're focusing at, and then you turn the front element according to that number to make sure you're focusing correctly. This lens is a schneider-kreuznach 80mm f2.9. It is housed in a ProntRS shutter. The ProntRS offers speeds from 250th of a second up to 1 full second. Also has bulb mode. It releases through the arm here, which is linked to the shutter release. So this shutter release actually only moves in this flap that presses the release arm. Every time you forward a frame, the release is free to take a new picture, and once you do, it locks. So to take a picture with this camera, you forward the frame completely, and then you prime or cock your shutter, and then release it. Once you do release it, it's locked. Even if you cock the shutter again, this won't release. What you will need to do is forward the frame, and you can shoot the next frame. So what do you do if you need to take multiple exposures? To take multiple exposures with this camera, you would need to use the remote cable slot. You can use this to fit certain accessories, namely a remote cable release. And sometimes, in some cameras, you can use a remote, you can use an external self-timer. You wouldn't need to use this with the ProntRS because it already has a self-timer built in. You can find it over here. So if you need to take a selfie, you can just pull it out, and it takes about 15 seconds to travel the whole distance. The ProntoRes also offers PC sync for flashing your sync with all of the speeds on it. This is a cold shoe, so you can't really mount a hot shoe operated flash gun. But what you can do is you can use an accessory like this one to fire a regular speed light. I have been able to use my Canon speed light 430X2 with this one by simply mounting it onto this accessory shoe and linking it to the shutter over here. You can of course sync with all speeds up to 250th of a second, because this is a leaf shutter, not a focal plane shutter. This is probably everything I have to say about this camera. One last thing I want to mention is that the aperture has 9 blades, so it's nice and round. It gives a nice bokeh. I've shot a roll of film with this one. If I get the opportunity, I will link the photos, the sample photos, or you can find them on my blog. Actually, check my blog. The photos will likely be there. I hope this overview has been useful for anyone, or at least enjoyable. And feel free to ask any questions, like and share, and follow my blog for more. See you later.